In sports, we throw around words like great, champion, and record breaker all the time. But every now and then, a player comes along who's, well, something else entirely. Someone who goes beyond just the stats and turns their sport into pure art. And that's exactly who we're talking about today, the cricket phenomenon, Charles Lara.
And this quote, it just nails it. Poetry in motion. That's what people said about his batting. It really gets to the heart of what made him so special. See, with Lara, it wasn't just that he scored runs, it was how he did it. The beauty, the elegance, just pure, undeniable artistry. All right, let's get into it.
So, this artist with a bat, where did he come from? To really get his genius, you gotta go right back to the start. Our story begins when the golden age of West Indies cricket was, well, it was fading. The legends were on their way out, and man, did they need someone new to carry that torch.
Lara was from Trinidad, and his talent, it was just obvious right from the get-go. I mean, he was in a cricket academy at 6 years old. By the time he was a teenager, he was playing a different game than everyone else. So, of course, this rocket of a rise gets him to his international debut in 1990. But the situation he walked into, yeah, it was complicated. And this right here really sets the stage. You've got this fading dynasty on one side, the West Indies just weren't that unbeatable force anymore. And into this massive void steps Lara. He wasn't just some talented kid. He was seen as this beacon of hope. The guy who was supposed to carry the weight of an entire team, an entire legacy really, on his young shoulders. No pressure, right?
And boy, did he carry them. You know how they say pressure makes diamonds? Well, it didn't take long for this pressure to create something spectacular, because what happened next wasn't just him announcing his arrival. No, he absolutely exploded onto the world stage. The cricket world was about to see what a true phenomenon looked like.
Okay, so the year is 1994, and this is the year that changes everything. This is when Lara goes from being this amazing young talent to a household name, a global superstar. He started shattering records that had been around for decades, and he did it in a way that just nobody saw coming.
So, first up, England. He goes out and scores 375 runs in a single test innings. Now, this wasn't just a good score, it was the highest score ever by anyone in the history of test cricket at the time. He didn't just squeak past the record, he absolutely demolished it. And he did it with this style, this flair, that just blew everyone away. But get this, he wasn't done, not even close. What he did just a few months later is honestly just unbelievable. He scores 501, not out, in a single innings. 501, that's a quintuple century. I mean, think about that. To break the world record in tests and the world record in first-class cricket in the same year, in a couple of months, it had never been done. That's when everyone knew this guy was a once-in-a-generation talent, no question.
Okay, so breaking records like that is one thing. It's incredible. But Lara's story, it's not just about those massive highs. If you really want to understand the man, you have to look at how he handled the tough times. And this next part of his story, it's all about character. It's about resilience when the odds were stacked against him.
So as time went on, the West Indies team, well, they were up and down. A lot of inconsistency. And Lara, he took a lot of heat for it, especially when he became captain. His career was this constant fight, It wasn't just about facing the world's best bowlers. It was about fighting the circumstances of a team that was trying to find its feet.
And nothing shows that resilience better than this. It's 1999. They're playing against this unstoppable Australian team, probably the best in the world. They need 308 runs to win. Impossible, right? And sure enough, the wickets start falling, one after another. It looks like it's all over. But Lara, he just stood there, like a lone warrior. And he played an innings that was nothing short of genius. 153 not out. He single-handedly dragged his team across the finish line for one of the most unbelievable wins in the history of the sport. So that innings, it really showed you what he was made of. But his career wasn't over, not by a long shot. There was another incredible act to come. Years go by. His world record of 375 gets broken. And what does Lara do? He does something no one has ever done before, or since. He decides, you know what? I'm going to take that record back.
And listen, this is the key thing right here. It's an amazing achievement to climb the mountain and set a world record, right? But imagine watching someone else climb higher. Most people would just say, well, that was great while it lasted. Not Lara.
To have the drive, the skill, the sheer will to climb that mountain all over again and take back the top spot, he's the only player in history to ever do it.
And in 2004, a full decade after his first record, he did it. 400, not out. The first and only 400 in the history of Test cricket. It wasn't just a score. It was a statement about his endurance, his genius, and that artistry that just never, ever went away.
So when you look at the whole picture, what is Brian Lara's legacy? I mean, you could just point to the stats, but if you do that, you're kind of missing the whole point.
And don't get me wrong, the numbers are absolutely insane. We're talking over 11,000 runs in tests, over 10,000 in one-dayers, 53 centuries in total. Statistically, he's a giant of the game, no doubt about it.
But, like we've been saying this whole time, his real legacy, his true impact, you can't find it in a spreadsheet. It's something much, much deeper than that.
He was the guy who made batting look like art. He was the perfect embodiment of that creative, fearless Caribbean flair. He was that singular genius who could lift up a struggling team and give an entire region hope. He became an inspiration for so many cricketers from smaller countries, showing them that anything was possible. He was a master craftsman, and that bat of his, that was his paintbrush.
So, I'll leave you with this question. In a sport that's filled with absolute legends, if you go and ask cricket fans anywhere in the world, who was the most beautiful batsman to watch, the most artistic, one name just keeps coming up, again and again. You know who it is, but what do you think?